Hello, my name is Dr. Christine Callahan, and I am a research assistant professor here at the School of Social Work with the Financial Social Work Initiative. This brief module will talk about the historical yet re-emerging and growing area of social work practice called financial social work and why we believe it is such a critical component of our field. Financial social work refers to the emphasis on financial stability for individuals, families, groups, and communities, and how this can be promoted through assessment and intervention that makes inquiry around financial needs and well-being as a part of overall psychosocial assessment. It also emphasizes sound financial services, access to safe financial products, and solid financial education that helps people make the best financial decisions possible for themselves and their families. Yet it is so much more. From a macro social work perspective, financial social work also emphasizes the need for policies at all levels of government that support financial stability, security, and inclusion, to support the well-being of working families, to advocate for tax policy that is just and promotes tax credits that help lift people out of poverty, and to address structural barriers that perpetuate income inequality and poverty, to name just several areas. Finances touch all of us, of course. We can see how they touch every aspect of our lives. And with what is termed the growing financialization of our lives and the growing complexity in how finances and money intersect with everything, we can see how our financial lives influence us psychologically and psychosocially. This also goes beyond learning how to budget and manage our money and learning about banking. We need to understand how credit and debt affect our lives and the role of assets in building greater stability and security. Conversely, what happens when these are impaired or hampered? This is especially true as we consider the impact on special vulnerable populations, such as foster youth aging out of the foster care system, older adults who may deal with financial fraud or financial abuse, those dealing with intimate partner or domestic violence, military service members and veterans and their families, those coping with life-threatening or life-limiting illness, those coming out of incarceration, even students coping with student loan debt. Financial issues and stress are especially salient with those who are also dealing with psychosocial stressors and difficult, painful events. This is why including the financial piece in our work is so important. There is an encompassing term called financial capability that really gets to the heart of financial social work. According to social worker and researcher Dr. Margaret Sheridan, financial capability combines a person's ability to act with their opportunity to act. It's more than just financial education. We must have access to financial products and services that allow us to act in our best financial interest, and this is also captured in the term financial inclusion. Overall, this leads to improved financial well-being and life chances. Asking about financial well-being in the people we're working with can be difficult. After all, it's pretty personal, and many people, including social workers, don't feel comfortable in talking about this. But we as social workers are obliged to learn how to do a comprehensive psychosocial assessment, and financial stress, income, and worries are important components of that assessment, as I've talked about. There are ways to broach the conversation and ask questions in a respectful, thoughtful way that can elicit greater understanding and exploration. For instance, questions might include, have you had money for unexpected expenses? Have you had enough money to pay your bills? Have you been free from worry about debts? There is an article that I've also attached on Blackboard that describes an assessment called the Socioeconomic Empowerment Assessment, and here are questions that can help guide the conversation and can help us reflect on our own sense of financial capability. You can use just some or all of the questions, and these questions are: what happens to money when you get it? Do you think you are managing your money well? In the past, what have you done with money you received? How does having money make you feel? How do you reward yourself? What are some of your memories about having money when you were growing up? Growing up, who in your household was in charge of money? What friends or family members have helped you with money? Have friends or family members caused you to spend money in a way that you didn't want to? Now or within the last few months, is there anything related to money that is stressful for you? Is there anything you feel is not related to money that is stressful or that you worry about? What do you think are the barriers to your not having as much money as you need? Are there educational barriers to stop you from being financially secure? Do you think you will be able to make enough money to survive in the future? There are a number of questions, articles, and surveys to use in this work, and there are many resources that can help guide us as we incorporate financial social work and financial well-being into our interventions, where we can begin exploring the financial piece and how that weaves into the overall psychosocial well-being and the needs that our clients have. In a moment, you'll see a powerful video clip of an intervention called financial coaching and how this made a huge difference in one individual's life and how he has worked to gain greater financial stability in his life. Within this Blackboard module, I have included some written information on resources and tools. I also urge you to check out the school's Financial Social Work Initiative website for more information about this and the work, education, and research that we have done and are doing, as well as information about upcoming events. We also have a class for both macro and clinical students called Financial Stability for individuals, families, and communities. This is offered each year to advanced year students, and it goes really in depth into financial social work in all aspects. It is taught by both a macro and a clinical social worker, and we would love to see you there. In the meantime, please feel free to reach out to us with questions or comments, or just to talk about ways financial social work is growing within our field. Thank you for your attention. Now let's turn to the video.
My name is David. I'm a husband, a father, and I'm working at Bond Secure Community Works. Actually, while I was in the prison, I knew that I was going to face some challenges because prior to getting locked up, I had credit cards, I had a bank account, I had all the things that normal citizens have. But when I got locked up, there was no one to maintain those accounts, to pay off the $3,000 in credit card debt. So all of those responsibilities came crashing down, went into collections, default, and I knew that I was going to face, in addition to having the background, there was going to be the credit crunch that I was going to have to face. My experience with the Baltimore Cash Coach has been a very positive one. I first found out about them while I was doing an intake interview at the Career One Stop at Mondawmin. And the case manager suggested that I speak with their representative there, who is Veronica. So I spoke with her and told her my situation about tax, because I'd been incarcerated. So I hadn't filed taxes for the last 3 years. So I didn't know what my tax responsibility and liability was. I did pull my credit score as soon as I got out, and I saw my credit report and it was atrocious. So in talking to her, she suggested that I connect with the Cash Coach program, and she gave me the information. So I called, and they invited me to a meet and greet that they have at the library once a month. So I went there, met with the individuals who were running the program, and they matched me with a cash coach. He's been very helpful in helping me navigate this whole credit system. When I first came out, my credit score was like 520. Now my credit score is fluctuating between 590 and 620. So I'm on the way and on track. One thing I know about coaches is that they are there to motivate. When you see the football coach, the basketball coach, they're not out there doing the work, but they're on the sides looking at what you're doing, and they are able to see things that I don't see. So having a cash coach allowed him to see things and understand things about my whole financial situation that I didn't see. For example, the need to actually create a budget and stay on point with that budget has been very helpful. To allocate funds to save has also been very helpful. And that's what the cash coach has been able to do. He's been able to identify things that would benefit me in not just the short term, but the long term as I reestablish my credit, as I move towards my goal of having a very high credit score. So through this cash coaching process, one of my goals was to improve my credit score, which I have been able to do. One of my other goals was to reduce or eliminate debt, and I am on track for doing that. My third goal was to establish a savings and set money aside for a savings account. To date, I have been able to save $800. I have $800 cash in savings that I could go to right now if I needed to. This Cash Coach program has allowed me to see opportunities that I didn't envision before. For example, my credit was so messed up, I didn't think it would be remotely possible for me to purchase a home. But now I see that it is possible. I think the Baltimore Cash Campaign program is for anybody and everybody who wants to improve their financial situation. Like myself, who desired to really get on track in my finances. So anybody who wants to get their finances on track, that's who this program is for.